Cory Booker has announced his run for president in 2020. Now, here's a story that is legitimately the funniest story that I've ever seen in my entire life. By the way, there was also The Hill wrote a story about Cory Booker confirming that he has a girlfriend. Now, I was actually going to do like a video on that, kind of like a meme video, but I'm just going to mention that here, which is pretty hilarious. The Hill actually ran that as a news story. But anyways, he's a really weird guy, and I didn't really fully understand what this guy is like until I heard David Dole kind of be like, he does so many things to be fake. Like, he does so many things fakely. And then it kind of came together for me. I was like, oh, yeah. So what that means is, like, for example, if you watch that grandstanding he was doing with Kirsten Nielsen, he's going off on this tangent to get this clip, and she tries chiming in, and he goes, oh, I didn't ask you to speak, because he's trying to get like his continuation. And he does that with a lot of people when he's doing his questioning as a senator. He does that a lot. The guy is like a massive joke. And this is like super peak fake, okay? This is hilarious. Cory Booker made up a drug dealer who was in the hood to basically give himself street cred in terms of like, oh, I have experience in poverty in Newark, in New Jersey. And he literally made up a dude named T-Bone, who he said, and by the way, T-Bone, you really couldn't think of a more believable name. And this has been debunked, I guess, since 2013. And I'm going to show you guys a clip of this. He's actually going to do it. But first, I want to read this to you guys. This is so fucking hilarious. So this was written in 2013. This from the Daily Mail. It says, prior to Booker's unofficial moratorium on T-Bone stories, the drug dealer was a fixture in his stump speeches. The stories painted the picture of a troubled black man who grew up on the streets of Newark and whom Booker had been compelled to befriend. Quote, I still remember my first month on the street, he told Stanford's Alumni magazine in 2001 about the few weeks that he spent living in a housing project to draw attention to the plight of the people there. Quote, I walked up to this charismatic black guy my age called T-Bone, who was one of the drug lords. Booker recalled, I just said, yo, man, what's up? And he leaped in front of me, looked me right in the eye, and said, who the blank do you think you are? If you ever so much as look at me again, I'm going to put a cap in your ass. When I read that, I legitimately could not stop laughing. I was laughing so hard. I honestly wish I had that laugh right now. Oh my god. Dude, that's so fucking fake. Strike one, T-Bone. I don't know if there's any drug dealer who's named T-Bone. That is such a memey name. The only time I've ever even heard T-Bone used is if you watch the Super Hot Fire rap battle. I think it was Hobson who they had named T-Bone, and they made fun of him by calling him T-Steak. But that's like the only time I've even heard that before. And then, bro, really? Let me reread it to you guys. He said, I just said, yo, man, what's up? And he leaped in front of me, looked me right in the eye, and said, who the blank do you think you are? If you ever so much as look at me again, I'm going to put a cap in your ass. Who the fuck believes that, dude? That is the literal fakest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. And so he's basically stopped doing this since, I believe, I'm not sure when he stopped, but a mayor, I guess, like sat him down for a talk. It was like, yo, dude, don't do this. Stop doing this. You're making a fake person up right now to try and make yourself seem, relatable to the poor in Newark. That's what he did. He created a fake drug dealer that he had an experience with so that he could seem more relatable to the poor and impoverished and people in the hood. And people looked around for this guy. They asked people, they're like, yo, do you know somebody named T-Bone? Like, does he exist? No way of finding him. No trace to be found because the T-Bone doesn't exist. That's not a real person. It was made up. And so Cory Booker has literally made up a person, made up a drug dealer to try to seem more relatable to the people in Newark, New Jersey to get elected. And so this is what I mean when I say his entire like existence is fake, okay? You can watch all of the grandstanding sessions that he does when he's a senator trying to do questioning. But there's a literal video footage of this. I'm going to show this to you guys.
T-Bone comes to me after I get elected and says to me, Cory, can we go for a ride? And I say, T-Bone, your car or mine? And I very nervously get into his car. And we drive off of Martin Luther King Boulevard, up South Orange, and we pull over to the side of the road, and I sit there, and T-Bone tells me, you got to get me out of here. And I'm like, okay, T-Bone, I got some programs, some plans. You see, we at that point had gotten the drug dealers away from the front of the building. We at that point had gotten the slumlord convicted in federal court. Feeling incredibly confident, he says to me, you got to help me get out of here. And I'm like, T-Bone, I got some programs, some plans. I know some things we can do. He goes, you don't understand something. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, and he basically explains to me that he has warrants out for his arrest and that they're closing in on him. And I hadn't seen him for a few weeks, and I'm now listening to him tell me this story. And suddenly T-Bone starts telling me his story, which again is the same story for the first 12 years or so of my dad's first 12 years. Born to a single mother, born poor. My father used to say, I can't afford to be, when I was young, I couldn't afford to be poor. I was just Po, P-O. The other two letters, couldn't afford them yet. Same thing. Him and his mother had him. Mother couldn't take care of him. My grandmother, biological grandmother, couldn't take care of my dad. They both were taken into the community. The community that absorbed T-Bone was a community of gang members. And T-Bone's life spiraled down from there.
Wow. You really made it easy to track down there, too, because you said that there was he told you that there's a police warrant out for him. Really? That's some shit that's going to be documented, dude. If there was really a police report or a police warrant issued on some dude nicknamed T-Bone, the cops are finna have that. Like, that's finna be in the record books, dude. People are going to be able to find it. Nobody found a trace. People who lived in Newark knew nothing about some dude named T-Bone. This was exposed back in 2013. This is not new. This isn't 2019. Like, oh, we found out it's T-Bone. No. This is back in 2013. We found this out a long time ago. Well, I didn't find it out. I just found out now. But this was first reported in 2013 that he's fake. That the dude named T-Bone is fake. Can we please just take a second to appreciate how unbelievably hilarious making up somebody as a drug dealer to be more relatable to the poor people. You can even come up with a more believable name than T-Bone. T-Bone. Oh, this story is the funniest story I've ever seen in my entire life. Hands down.